see it from the lens of I want to be on the court. I want to be the baller, right? You're writing and talking about the baller.
Right.
Talk to us a little bit about that trajectory and the inspirations that led to that, brother.
Well, I'm glad you brought it up that way, because one thing when I'm talking to youth, I always tell them, and you know that like 70% of young black boys in elementary school around that age think not only want to be
they think they're going to be
athletes, but think they're going to, you know.
Your daddy 5'8" and you going to the league.
Right, right. Man, it's amazing. And so I tell young brothers and sisters, but I say, look, I wanted to be a professional athlete when I was your age. I wanted to play in the NFL. I wanted to play in the NBA. I remember my aunt, who became a judge, actually. She was a lawyer. And when I was about 7 or 8 years old, about 7 years old, she asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up, Chris? And I said, a football player. She was like, okay. Don't make it to the NFL. What do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, a basketball player. And she, Chris, okay. All right. If you don't play football, you don't play basketball, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, a baseball player. So,
just go down the list.
That's how I grew up. I mean, I wanted to be a professional athlete. And so many young brothers are like that. And I tell them, I'm an example, as many others are, that you can make it in professional sports without, if you don't make it on the field. Because the overwhelming majority of us will not make it on the field.
Yes.
And you can be a sports writer, sports broadcaster, sports agent, sports photographer, a coach, a nutritionist, a trainer, a videographer. I mean, the list goes on and on. Sports marketing, advertising, working at Nike, Reebok, whatever. There's so many opportunities out there in sports. And the thing you need for all of them, though, barring unless you become some superstar athlete, is your education. You're not going to be that great sports photographer or that great sports broadcaster or writer without getting your education. And so focus on your education. And if you want to do that, focus on, building yourself up toward that career. I say, look, if I say I want to make the NBA, I want to play in the NBA, but I never work on my game.
Come on.
I never work on my J. I never work on my handle. I don't go play at the park. I don't get in the AAU, whatever. I'm just dreaming, and unfortunately, I find a lot of young people, particularly young boys, who may say, I want to be a lawyer. I want to be an engineer. I want to be this or that. But yet they don't work. They don't try their best in school. They don't do, try to get the good grades. And that's the equivalent of not working on your game if you want to make the NBA. Like if you want to be a doctor, engineer, whatever, politician, president, you have got to do your best in school.
Yes.
That's the first step. So that's one thing. And for me, the way I actually even thought about sports, right? Because I didn't know what I wanted to do growing up. And so my sophomore